Welcome, Matthew. Please tell us a little bit about Wandercraft and what your company does.
Okay, so Wandercraft, we developed an exoskeleton for the walking impaired to enable them to get back up and back in all the places they have abandoned. So think you're in a wheelchair. There are so many places, and this is a good example, right? Imagine you're in a wheelchair in that crowd. That's terrible. And we founded Wandercraft to get these people a solution, both in terms of health, because being in a wheelchair is a real pain for your health, and in terms of autonomy, for all the people that cannot walk and for whom it is a huge problem.
So you built this exoskeleton. What kind of cutting-edge technologies are in it?
So actually, an exoskeleton is a bundle of technology. So that's why we built what we call a full-stack company. Because inside an exoskeleton, you have both hardware. So you need hardware engineers, mechanical engineers, people that can design machines. But you also have a lot of software. Because the way we looked at the problem was that, OK, we can build a machine that can move your legs. But what's the motion required to keep you on your feet? And then if you think about it like that, you quickly realize that it's actually a math problem. So you have to formulate everything around the mathematical aspect of it, and you have to get mathematicians and physicians and top-level physicians at that to solve the problem. And we created this whole team of talent that have to work together, which is actually something, because you're taking people that are top of their field, and they have to work with other people who are also top of their field. So basically, hardware, software, algorithms, AI, and all that in the constraints of a medical device, which is what we are. And that's what you get at Wandercraft.
Let's look at the human side of the story. What was the motivation to build this?
So my co-founder, and he's actually somewhere in the room, Nicolas, he has in his family, there's a neurogenetical disease, which means that people slowly lose the ability to walk. So his own brother, he used to play with him, struggle with him, fight with him, play tennis with him. But he's always known that at some point in his life, he would lose the ability to walk, and he would get inside a wheelchair. And he thought, OK, this is the 21st century. We have flying cars, God damn it. Why can't we get people out of their wheelchair and just experience the same life as you and I? Why is it so difficult to have somebody climb stairs and get inside all the places that you cannot get into in a wheelchair? And so for Thibaut, Nicolas' brother, but also for Arbi, as somebody that's with us tonight, this is the reason we built the exoskeleton.
So right now, an individual cannot order this, but they can find it in certain hospitals, and you also have it at your headquarters, and people can come and use it. Can you tell us about that?
So that's actually a quite fun story. So the first version of the exoskeleton, it's for rehabilitation. It's really to get into the hands of therapists and doctors and physios so that they can rehabilitate their patients. For example, think after you have a stroke, you need to relearn to walk, and the exoskeleton actually helps you do that. And so we went to different hospitals and talked with the doctors and physios, and they were like, yeah, let's get the machine. But then they were also like, how do I get the funding for it? So it takes some time to deploy. But funny enough, we had a lot of requests from patients themselves that were saying, I want to get up. I want to find back this feeling of being up and walking and just being able to talk eye to eye with my peers. And what we realized was that this is actually something we can give them. We have the exo in our headquarters. We have people that can operate the exo. So we started answering these people, why don't you come, say, once a week and have a 1 hour walking session? And they were like, can we do that? And we said, yes, we can do that. So we offered people who just were asking randomly to come. But the problem, if you want to say that, was that there were more and more and more people asking. And we were not doing any advertising. It was just word of mouth and people saying, I know it's possible, so I want to do that. So right now we have a waiting list of people like Arbia, who is with us tonight, and they come every week. And actually, most of them, all of them, they've started to tell us recently, once a week is pretty good. I like that. Can we do twice a week? And so we are trying to figure out how we can serve this need, because that's something so deeply rooted inside you, that desire to be up and walking and to feel tall again. So that's what we do.
So can you tell us a little bit about Arbia and what we're going to see tonight?
Yes. So Arbia, I don't know if we can see her on the screen maybe. So Arbia actually contacted us in December 2020. She's been in a wheelchair for a while, so I let her tell you her story. And she had been told that there were no solutions. Her doctors had told her she would never be up and she would never walk again. But she did her own research on the internet and she found out about Wandercraft, and she just shot a mail to us saying, I want to know what you do. So we just told her, swing by the office and we'll see what we can do. and she came, and we tried to figure out if she fitted in the exo, and she did. So we just put her in the exo, and she was like, I need to learn to use that. And we told her, no, the exo does everything by itself. You don't need to learn anything. You're going to get up and start walking immediately. And she couldn't believe it, because she thought it would be very difficult and you had to learn everything. But 5 minutes later, she was actually up again and she was walking. And I think her feedback was really, really interesting, because the day after, she wrote us a mail saying, I haven't felt so tired for years, and it feels so good to be able to exercise, to feel your body, to feel your muscles ache, because that's something you don't get to experience when you're in a wheelchair. And we say that's what led to this thinking of, can we provide her this feeling not once for a demo or an experience, but on a regular basis. And she's been doing, I think, walking sessions for over a year now. And her feedback is just amazing. And that's actually a big driver of motivation for the whole team. Because when she comes, she can see the engineers and everybody working on the device. But the opposite is true as well. All the engineers, they get to talk to Arbia and get her feedback. And maybe one day she'll say, do you think the walk could be a little bit more like that, or maybe more at the hips? And so they get this feedback, which is premium feedback when you're an engineer, when you get users to tell you real time what they think about the device. And so, yeah, that's Arbia.
So are we ready?
I think we're ready.
Okay.
Are we ready, Stan?
Get ready to see something truly amazing.
So what we're going to see right now is Stanislas, who is one of our lead engineers, and Arbia, who is getting ready. So I'll leave you the floor, Stanislas. So the first thing the exoskeleton does is pretty much as you would do. Wow. It brings the feet back. So now Arbia is able to go through the whole crowd. So you can make just a tiny bit of room for Arbia, but the whole goal of the exoskeleton is actually to be able to be within the crowd and with all of you. So you don't need to do too much. So the way the exoskeleton works is it's powered by algorithms, robotics algorithms, that gives input to 12 motors in real time. So every milliseconds, the exoskeleton is computing everything that it has to do, both to keep balance and to move forward. If you want to turn, you are able to turn as well. If you want to go a little bit faster, that's something you can do as well. And this is all thanks to inputs provided by the exoskeletons and its sensors. So the big innovation in our exoskeleton is really those algorithms, but also the architecture, meaning that you have so many degrees of freedom, you can do all the motions. And that's why RBI is able to turn around and to do all these different motions, which is something that no other exoskeleton can do in the world. So I think that RBI is getting to get a drink, so that would be pretty nice if you can make a little bit of room for her. And maybe at some point it would be interesting to get RBI's feedback. I don't know if we have a microphone for her. So yeah, she's just approaching the bar. So hopefully she'll get a drink faster than you've been able to, because she has some privilege. Can we get RBI a microphone?
Let's see.
Oh yeah, okay, we've got one.
Oui?
Yes. Hey RBI, how are you doing?
I'm walking. I'm so happy to walk and to be in front of the other humans. Stand up.
So can you tell us just a little bit more about your experience with the exoskeleton and how it's been for the last 2 years, maybe?
I'm better from the time I've begun exercises with Atalante. And I thank you so much for that, because I feel better and my muscles are better. And I know that in the future, in the soon future, I will be able to walk like everybody at home and out. Thank you.
Thank you so much, RBI. So I think RBI is going to stay a little bit inside the crowd. So this is also a good opportunity to tell that, yes, this is the version that we sell to rehab hospitals, but our development is actually geared toward home use. And in the coming years, we'll be releasing a personal version of the exoskeleton that people will truly be able to bring back home to use on a daily basis.
Wow. Andrew, what do you think?
I mean, how can you not be blown away by this? I talked about the fact that we have no shortage of challenges ahead of us, but we can meet them. We are demonstrating an ability, thanks to companies like yours. We can give people back the ability to walk. We can give them back the ability to hear. We'll be able to give them back the ability to see. But by the standards of all of previous human history, these are miracles, and we're doing it now. I find it hard to be pessimistic when I see things like that.
Absolutely. Well, there's a lot of cause for optimism.
So every year at Brian Garnier, the partners get together and we review all of the deals and the companies that we've backed. And we pick one that receives the Brian Garnier Deal of the Year award. Typically, you know, it's because this company like Moderna was on the NASDAQ, or BioNTech, or Valneva, or, you know, one of these transactions that we've done, and it's usually financial in nature. But this year, I think it's very clear how much pride Brian Garnier has in backing Wandercraft. And I'd like to call my colleague Olivier Baudouin to present to Mathieu and the team the Brian Garnier Deal of the Award. So Olivier, why don't you join us?
I feel like Garnier now, honestly. Yeah, nice to see you all. we, we thought, I don't know what the question was, Pierre, because there's no way we can listen, but why did we choose Wandercraft, right?
Yeah. Why did we back?
Why did we back those guys? There's different reasons. One is the team, and you're seeing Mathieu here. You're seeing, you don't see Nicolas and Jean-Louis, Jean-Louis right here, and Nicolas that was around, that basically simply inspired us because the reason why they built that company was to solve family issues that they had, at least and that was very, very inspiring, as you can see now. The team is not just Nicolas, Jean-Louis, and Mathieu. It's also the 80 people, strong team of incredible engineers. When you walk in the offices of Wandercraft, you're mind blown by that technology spirit that's really transpiring in the building. It's 25 nationalities. It's 28 years old on average, I would say, very young.
Something like that.
And so that was the first thing. And the second thing, so was the team, really, and the inspiration. The second thing was we're at the heart of what we're looking for. It's very deep science, right? And the reality is that imagine you're having a self-stabilized robot with 12 axes, which Boston Dynamics does that, right? But they do that with a robot and where there's no one inside. In this case, there's a human being inside, which creates, of course, imbalance, which makes it even more complicated. So the depth of the algos and the math that you need to make this run is just mind-blowing. We also took the challenge. The challenge that we had is that it's a company that has a combination of software, algos, robotics, AI, everything that the VCs fund but all together. And that becomes much more complicated because it's, and on top of that, you need to add the healthcare side of things, where you need to have FDA approval and all of the path. And that made the road to the fundraise, challenging. And I think that's what we like at BG. We said, who else can back that company other than us? And the inspiration was there to do it. And I think what we have, and it was just a pleasure for us to do it. And we have the freedom to choose, and we chose to back those guys, and we're so proud of it. And we honestly wish you. I want to see the next generation in the streets, right? And not just this one. And see no more wheelchairs and people walking in the streets next to us. So that would be super inspiring. So the reward at the back of it, and congrats, and make us dream.
Thank you, Olivier. It's been a wild ride, and I couldn't be happier about how the last fundraising went. And it's really thanks to, in a large part, to you guys. I think you gave a new meaning to going the extra mile, as you say. And I really want to thank all the team, you, Vincent, Hervé, and all the guys who worked on the deal.
In New York.
Yes, Nicolas in New York as well. Yeah.
Everyone was involved on
Yes,
this. Everyone at Brian Garnier knew about Wandercraft, and that was.
Yes.
Do you have a friend who would be interested by that? Everyone, and that's what we're about. And it was the excitement. And it has to be a story that makes you, dream, and that's what you guys do. So.
Yeah. So very happy about the award, and thank you so much for inviting us tonight. It was really a pleasure, and really looking forward to working together again.
Wandercraft. Fantastic. All right, Andrew. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Now we have the fun part. Now we get to bring up our founders and our leadership. Please welcome on stage Olivier Garnier, Greg Revenue, and Cliff Siegel.